I'm RuStar, and I'm from New York City. Yeah.
And you have my mind, my brain, my thoughts.
Party right now. Why, you just bring anyone your little old heart desires, as long as they can pay.
Very important to be an important person, and it all has to be triggered from bad experiences. I don't know why that is. You're going to be okay.
That I will recreate. She's better at it.
This is Wilman Ziyada, and I'm so excited to be joined by the acclaimed songwriter, web show host, illustrator, actress, RuStar. You do it all. I am so grateful to be
And I'm a
speaking with
mom
you.
too.
And a mom.
Yes, that comes first.
Ru, mom first. And this is why I love you. My mom is my best friend. RuStar, let's go into it. Why for you is being a mom number one?
Oh, because my two daughters, I'm the luckiest mommy in the whole wide world. And they truthfully are my biggest teachers and good luck charms. So they always come first in everything.
But Ru, what I love so much about you too is similar to you, and probably why I can relate to you even before we met and just researching everything that you do. You have a beautiful, unapologetic, authentic way about you. And because my mom has always shown up in the world by stepping into that power, she showed me, not told me, she showed me how it could be done. Do you feel like you're doing that for your daughters?
I seriously hope so. I know that I encourage them to be who they are, not who I want them to be, and that to me has really showed me who they are, because in life people always have expectations of what they want you to become, and I still get that. I still get that, and it's like I tried and it didn't work. So like it took me a long time to figure out that this is who I am, and it's either I still keep trying. Like I was supposed to be the doctor, lawyer, Indian chief. I don't know if I'm allowed to say Indian chief anymore.
You're fine,
but,
don't worry. We know, look at Ru, I know where your heart is. Anyone that knows you.
And still people are like, why don't you have a professional job, like an executive somewhere? I mean, you're a college grad, blah, blah, blah. Those places I don't fit in those places. No. And I've tried so many times to do those things where my kids, they're really figuring out who they are and finding their path. And, they have hurdles and stuff, but they amaze me every day over how spectacular they are, and how smart they are, and how creative they are. They really seal the deal for me.
Well, they have a spectacular creative mom who is unapologetically just doing the thing with beauty and grace. The audience obviously just got a sneak peek of just a snippet of some of what you do, but also I want to talk about Ru. Obviously, these past 18 months have been tough for all people, but especially artists. I'm curious how you were able to spend the time in keeping your creative juices flowing.
Well, usually things in my life happen by mistake. It's the things that I set out to do. Usually I knock on so many doors that never open. And then it's always some door behind that knocks on mine that I didn't even knock on, that creates the next chapter. That seems to be the story of my life. I'm waiting now for that door to open, because I'm still knocking over. I'm waiting to see what's the next one, because it's always things I have no idea about. But in the height of when the pandemic started, I had no idea. I'm a doodler. I just doodle. I don't consider myself trained in anything. I always say I'm on the job training, and I'm a professional beginner in everything I do. But I have a 10-year-old niece who spent a weekend with me that weekend of March 13th to March 15th, 2020, which is the weekend that everything went down pretty much. And she had stayed with me the year before too. And I knew she liked to draw. So she was drawing and she wasn't finishing her drawings. And I was just like, why are you just like drawing and not finishing them? Like, you know, not that it's wasting paper, but like, why do you just like, can I finish some of your drawings? And she was like, okay. So I started finishing her drawings and then I decided to draw my own. And I just drew, I do like self-portraits a lot, but they don't even look like me, but like usually like little girls or whatever, I draw like a kid. And I posted it. And someone wrote like, oh my God, I didn't know you drew. Like, will you draw something for me? And I was just like, I just doodle. And I mean, no one's ever asked me to draw something specifically for them, but sure, I'll do it. And then I did it. And that was Sunday, March 15th.
Wow.
So the 16th, I put the one that I drew for her. And then someone said, can you draw something for me? And then like, immediately I said, you know what? Now that we're in pandemic, they said it was going to be a few weeks. I was like, I'll draw a drawing a day from somebody's suggestion, and I'll do this during the pandemic. And fast forward, I have over 400 drawings in this pandemic art collection. I get really attached and committed to anything I do. So like, I was kept saying like, when is this going to end? Like I had to do a drawing a day, and it was from people's suggestions. And I ended up with a list and I just kept doing it. But then like when it started opening up a little, I felt like that was more of a quarantine type thing. And I just I kept saying, how is this going to stop? Like, you know, life started getting busy again. And after 400 and something drawings, I just don't want anything with the word pandemic attached to it anymore. I felt like I had to close that chapter. So I did. And people bought a few. It was just like a miraculous moment. I call it a pandemic miracle.
I also think it's one of those doors, Ru, that you just, you know, being with that childlike sense of wonder that will, I don't think, ever leave you, that you created or maybe found that door behind you that was a knocking, that you bring joy through your storytelling and creativity, period, no matter what it is, because you can't put RuStar in a box. Although a world might like to say, ooh, Ru, you know, well, I think you should just do one lane. It's easily digestible for people. No, F that. I love the fact, through truth, with your niece, doodle doodle, someone says, oh, okay. You as a vessel, you just yes-handed it, to use an improv term. And I love that about you. And also another thing I want to really talk about before we get going, to STaRR with Love. Talk to me about the impetus of the cover, and talk to me about the important cause that when everyone goes to the link below this video, what happens?
Thank you so much. That's another pandemic miracle, but it happened a long, long time ago. I used to host a show for many, many years, a web show called ReW. And I tried, that's another thing, I tried to end it. And another thing I never said, I'm gonna host an internet show. I was asked to be a co-host of a show, and then the host quit. So it turned into my show. Like, I never set out to do that. And then it landed on me. And then again, my loyalty, I felt so dedicated to the guests that took my show so seriously. It still blows my mind. And for a long, the show was all the time, every week, 4 to 6, and then one Friday a week in Brooklyn. And it went on for like probably like over 8 years. And it's all on YouTube. I mean, I look at old ones and I can't believe how great the guests were. It was amazing. Everyone was so amazing. But long story short, I tried ending it for so long, and I finally got an ending date. And I have this one amazing, supportive fan, whatever you want to call him, Zest radio show. He lives in Canada. He used to watch the show all the time. And he even came and co-hosted one for a week. And he, on the last show, said, this last show reminds me of the movie To STaRR with Love, because you're leaving, like I feel so sad. And he said, would you ever consider covering that song? listen, I have a brother up in heaven, and I always say he's my producer. That was his favorite movie. And I'm like, oh my God, like To Sir with Love, I have his album, like, because I have all his albums from when he went up there. And I have the To Sir with Love album. And I was like, yeah, and I do sing along with kids. And I actually had the piece of paper with the chords of To Sir with Love. I played it before, like never public, but like in work and with kids and stuff. And I was like, sure, I'll do a cover of it. So nothing really ever happened, but it was the seed was planted. Fast forward now a few years, and it's like, I think it was I keep mixing years now. It was 2019, which feels like last year, but it wasn't. And I put this band together by total mistake. Also, I work with a record label out of Baltimore called Monterey Records, and they come up once a year and like to play in New York and do a gig, because the owner is a musician, and he likes to do a gig up here sometimes. So we planned a show, and my band was like busy and they couldn't make it. And I play with a lot of different people, but it wasn't working out. So I said, you know what? I'll either do solo or I'll just host that night. And then one of my friends who was in a band playing that night's like, no, you can't just host. You have to play. I'll play with you. I'll play bass or guitar, whatever you want. So I was like, oh, really? Then I have this drummer that I usually like on occasion would use, and I love her so much. So I said, Tammy, are you free that night? And she's like, yeah. And then this girl, Maya, who plays keys, saw me play once and always said, you know, I always want to play with you. I want to do something with you. And she and Tammy are friends, and that's a whole other story. But I said, Maya, this might be the night to do it. Tammy's drumming with me. And she's like, I can do it. So we just magically put a band together for that night. My label, when I go to Baltimore, I just go usually and play, and then they fill everything in because they're musicians too. They saw this band play that night, and the Rooulettes were born. And he was like, oh my God, you got to bring this band to Baltimore. I've seen you play in so many bands, but this band, I want you to bring them. So I was like, okay. That was like in April. So then in June of 2019, Zest says to me, did you ever really consider of really doing the cover of To Sir with Love? And I was like, you know, it's long overdue. Let's do it. So I called Baltimore. I said, would you do the cover? And they're like, yeah, tell us when you want to come. So I'm thinking I'm going to go and they're going to fill it all in. So then the Rooulettes had a gig, and in like the end of June or something. And the whole time I'm playing this gig, I'm thinking in my head, I got to ask them if they want to go to Baltimore. Like the whole time I'm playing this set, I'm like, I got to bring these guys to Baltimore. They have no idea. And then when the gig ended, I said, guys, I have an opportunity to do a cover song, and I'm going to Baltimore. Would you guys want to come with me? And one of them's like, I'm busy through August, blah, blah, blah. I'm away for the summer, this, that, whatever. And then we found that there was a date, August like 4th or something, 7th, I don't remember. Everyone would be available. So I tell Baltimore, they said, yes, let's do it. The Rooulettes take a road trip, go to Baltimore, record To Sir with Love, and everything's great. Zest then wants a music video, and he hires this guy called Christopher Martini, who's like does documentaries and this and that. And he's busy now through the whole year of 19 till through the new year. So let's meet in January of 2020 to figure it out. I meet with him in January. We have a plan of shooting this video on March 21st. And then we all know what happened. So that didn't happen. Then we pushed it to March 28th, then April 15th, and then nothing was happening. So then we end up to doing it pandemic style. Now the Rooulettes are all over. Tammy, the drummer's in Georgia. Maya's living in Utah. Ann is upstate New York. Like all of us were so spread out. There was no way it was going to happen. So Christopher figured out a way to do it through the iPhone. And we made this To Sir with Love video, where Zest now is donating 5 cents for every view of the video to Feed the Children, because Feed the Children not only is an international organization that feeds children, they also work with teachers. And To Sir with Love is all about the teacher and the movie. And And what they do is for teachers that are always using their own money to take care of their classroom for supplies, they have a store, an internet store where teachers can shop there and get supplies for their classroom. So that's another plus about Feed the Children. They're feeding the classroom as well. And that's why we really thought that that was a perfect charity for that song to contribute to, because it all ties together with the, do you know the movie To Sir With Love? Have you
I
seen it?
don't.
Oh my God. So many movies have copied that movie. It's with Sidney Poitier and it's from 1967. And Lulu sings the real version of it. Lulu is still out there. She's amazing. Lulu is over the top. She's like working with Boy George now. She was on Absolutely Fabulous. She's like a legend. So I actually wrote her on Instagram, not expecting, I never expect anyone to write me back, saying, I just did a cover of To Sir With Love, I'd love your blessing. And she wrote me back, you have my blessing. So like Lulu gave me of course I kept writing her and she never wrote me back again, but she actually did write a blessing for our version of To Sir With Love. And that,
Oh, Rue.
yeah,
I love it. My
incredible.
dog, by the way, is so excited about
Yes.
meeting you. Do you mind? Do you want to meet him?
Yes, I have my dog too. This is Jaja Gabon.
And this is Vincent. Oh my God.
Oh,
Rue.
Vincent, so cute.
He started barking when you started talking about To Sir With Love. Maybe it's a sign from above. I don't know. I'm all
And
about that.
Jaja's in the video too.
I know. I saw.
Oh,
Listen,
my
Rue,
gosh.
I could speak with you forever. I want to let our audience know. For more on the amazing RuStar, you can read more about her right below this video. Rue, God bless you, and I'm glad we're connected now.
Yes, and so is Vincent and Jaja.
Bye.
Bye.